What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Peters. In today's video, we're going to be talking about polynomial long division. I linked the exponents video down below because you guys are going to need to use those properties of exponents for our lesson today. So when we're dividing polynomials, guys, most important thing is just to make sure that we set the problem up correctly. So that means that the first expression, x squared, right, plus 5x plus 6, that's what's going to be under the division symbol, okay? And then the x plus 2 is going to be on the outside. And the way that I teach this, guys, is in 3 steps. So step number 1, we are going to divide. So what are we going to divide? So we're going to take our first term, x, just x, and then we're going to divide x squared by it, which is why we need properties of exponents. So you guys should know that x squared divided by x will just be x. So after we divide now, we want to take our answer and then multiply it back by x plus 2. So what that means is I'm going to multiply x times x, get x squared, and then x times 2, which will be plus 2x. All right? Then from this step here, guys, what we want to do is subtract. So for us to subtract, we're going to put this expression in parentheses and put a subtraction sign on the outside of it. So now that switched the signs. So x squared minus x squared, that cancels out. 5x minus 2x, that is going to give us 3x. And then we're going to bring that 6 all the way down. At this point now, what we want to do is we're going to repeat the process. So I'm looking at x and I'm saying to myself, okay, how many times does x go into 3x? And we should know that that is 3 times, right? So because it's positive, I'm going to put plus 3, right? Now, after I divide, right, I'm going to go back and multiply 3 by x and then 3 by 2. So 3 times x gives me 3x. 3 times 2 gives me positive 6. We're going to put that expression in parentheses, subtraction sign on the outside. And what we notice is now is that both 3x and 6, once we subtract, is going to cancel out. So when we ask for the answer, we know that our answer is going to be x plus 3. So this is what we're talking about today, guys, in our video of polynomial long division. So we're going to go on to a next problem, and I'm going to ask that you guys smash the like video for us if you find this video helpful and subscribe to our channel. All right, so problem number 2. So problem number 2 is going to be a little bit longer, but I think we got this, right? And then let's just make sure. I think I wrote this wrong. Sorry about that. All right, so we wrote our problem out, guys. Now let's set it up so that we could solve. So I know that 2x to the third is what's going to be under the division symbol, right? So we'll rewrite that, and then we're going to start the process. So just remember, guys, in step 1, what we want to do, let's slide this up to the top. In step 1, what we want to do is take x and divide 2x to the third by it. So once we do that, we're going to get, and let's switch colors, 2x to the second power. And just understand out to the side, right? When we multiply 2x squared times x, this is what gives us 2x to the third power. So properties of exponents is so important for this lesson. So please make sure you guys check out our properties of exponents video when you get a chance. All right, so we did our first step, we multiplied, right? We divided. Now our second step, we're gonna multiply our answer back. So 2x squared times x will give me 2x to the third. And then when I multiply by -2, I'm gonna get negative 4x squared, right? We'll put our parentheses around that expression, subtraction sign out in front. So now my first term, x to the third power, cancels. So now 8x squared minus a negative 4x squared. So this is what's going on, everyone. So we have 8x squared minus negative 4x squared. So please just remember, though, that double negative is going to turn this into an addition problem. So this is going to give us 12x to the second power. So just make sure that you guys catch that real quick, okay? All right. So we combined our like terms now, right? We subtracted, combined like terms. Now we're going to bring down the next term, which is negative 6x. And we'll start the process over. So I know x goes into 12x to the second power, positive 12x, right? When we multiply those two, we'll get 12x squared. So we divided. Now let's go on to the next step. I multiply my answer back, and I'll get 12x squared minus 24x, right? We're going to put this in a parentheses, put our subtraction sign out in front. And what really makes this topic hard, guys, is just the fact that it's a lot of steps to remember, right? But if you can remember, hey, we're going to divide, multiply, subtract, and repeat, I think that'll be one of the very best ways for us to remember the process and to stay organized. Staying organized is so important. So again, guys, same thing, right? We have negative 6 minus negative 24. So basically what we're saying is we're going to do 24 minus 6, right? So after I combine those two, I'm going to get a positive 18x, right? And then we'll repeat the process again. We're going to bring 10 all the way down. And then now I want to take that x term, right? And we're going to try to divide 18x by it. So once we do, we're going to get plus 18 on the outside, right? Or on the top, I should say. All right. So plus 18, right? So we divided. Now we're going to go back and multiply. And when we do that, we're going to get 18x minus 36. Don't forget the parentheses and subtraction sign after. So with this problem here, guys, we're going to have a remainder. Our first problem, we're able to divide evenly and have 0 as our remainder. This one's going to be different. So after I combine my x's, they cancel out. But I noticed that I'm going to have a remainder of 46. So when we have a problem like this is how we express our final answer. So let's just slide out a little bit. We're going to have a final answer of 2x to the second power plus 12x plus 18 plus, and then we're going to put our remainder of 46 all over what we were dividing by, which was x minus 2. All right? So when we have a remainder, guys, put your put your remainder at the end of the problem as a fraction over what you were dividing. But before we go, I got one more very important problem that I want to touch with you guys. And in this problem, what's going to happen is that we're going to have some missing exponents. And when you see that, guys, we have to know that we have to fill it in ourselves. And this is what I mean. So our last problem says that we have 6x to the fourth power minus 9x squared plus 18. And in this problem, we're going to divide by x minus 3. So if we look at the exponents real quick, right? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used yellow. If we look at our exponents real quick, we're missing x to the third power and just x to the first power. So when we start setting this problem up, right? So I have x minus 3 on the outside. I have to fill in those missing exponents as placeholders. Please don't forget to do this because your answer will come out wrong. All right. So if you're wondering why I put in 0x and 0x to the third, that is the reason why they're acting as placeholders. So I'm just going to look over this problem, right? So we have x to the third and x. Now let's go through with our 3 steps to solve. And it's going to be the same thing. So once I start solving, I'm going to have 6x to the third, right? And now I'm going to multiply this back by both terms. So when I do the first term, we'll get 6x to the fourth minus 18x to the third, right? So step one's done. Step two's done. So now step three, we're going to put this in parentheses and subtract. 6x to the fourth cancels and 0 minus negative 18. So 18 in this problem is positive. Please just make sure you guys remember that, all right? Because it's very easy to make that very small mistake. All right, so we have 18x to the third. We'll bring down our next term and we'll repeat the process. So 18x to the third divided by x should be 18x squared. We're going to multiply our 18x squared back by x minus 3. So we'll get 18x to the third minus 54x squared. And let's just double check that real quick. Let's make sure. All right, so we have 54x squared. And guys, when we're doing polynomial long division, a lot of skills that work into it: subtraction, division, changing signs, properties of exponents. Just make sure that you guys double check your work, okay? So now we're combining like terms. My x to the third power, it's gone. It got canceled out. And now we have negative 9 plus positive 54. So we'll have 45x squared, right? We're going to bring down the 0x. That's the next term. And then now let's repeat the same process over. So we'll have 45x at top, right? Because once we divide 45x squared by x, that'll give us 45x. Now after I divide it, we're going to multiply back. So we'll get 45x squared. And then 45 times 3. Let's make sure we get that right. What is 45 times 3? That's going to give us 135x. All right, so I know this problem's a little bit long, but just like remember, like I said, guys, it's very important, properties of exponents. So we go down now, right? We've added a subtraction sign. We have our parentheses. 45 cancels out, and we're left with a positive 135x. Now, when we go back to start the process over, right? 135x divided by x will give us positive 135. And once I multiply that back, we're going to get 135x minus, and let's just make sure we get this part right, minus 405. So in our last step, guys, in this problem, we're also going to have a remainder, right? Because if you look, there is nothing for us to bring down anymore, right? 18 was our last term. So we know that our remainder is going to be 405. So when we have our answer, guys, up top right here, we're just going to put a remainder of 405 all over x minus 3. So thank you guys for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, we're going to ask that you hit the like button for us, subscribe to our channel, leave any comments on future videos you'd like to see. And thank you guys so much for joining us today on our polynomial long division with Mr. Peters.